If I can't keep my head held high enough, I'll just speak love and watch the smiles come, bring my spirits up. There's some shit I like to fix, but I still know that I'm blessed.
Hi guys, I'm back as promised. So they had the hearing today for Paul and Ruben, today being February 2nd of 2022. They had the pre-trial conference at 8:30 this morning. Well, it was scheduled for 8:30. Department 5 in SLO County Superior Court. I'm going to go ahead and review my notes regarding the hearing. I have their official case numbers now, if anyone's interested in that. And I also found it was interesting that Paul's middle name is Ruben. So Paul Ruben Flores, case number 21F-02402-A. Ruben's is all the same numbers except for it ends in B. So he's 21F-02402-B. As you can see by the photos that I put in here, the stream had problems, and finally, 20 minutes in, at around 8:50 a.m., the hearing began. During the introductions, it caught my eye and my ear that Sarah Sanger introduced herself. She's obviously a family relation to Robert Sanger. I did research, and my guess was that she's a daughter just due to the fact she looks considerably younger than the lead defense attorney, Robert Sanger. But my research did not clear that up. She graduated from good universities. She speaks fluent French and Spanish, and English, of course. Robert's well known as a death penalty attorney, and actually Sarah also sits on some boards related to death penalty cases. Mostly Santa Barbara and San Luis Obispo, but, they can practice in the state of California. Probably beyond, I don't know. For those that are not familiar, here's some insight. In 2005, in Santa Barbara County Court, there was a 4-month trial for Michael Jackson that Robert Sanger was the lead defense attorney for. That was regarding the molestation allegations. Mr. Sanger did claim that the case was made more difficult because of how Michael continued to act odd throughout. I remember he came to court in pajamas and did a lot of weird stuff. So after 4 months of hearings and 32 hours of deliberation, Michael Jackson was found not guilty on all counts. And sadly, in 2009, Michael Jackson passed away. I know there's other high-profile cases locally and in Santa Barbara that Robert Sanger was on, the lead defense attorney. So he's no stranger to the courts here. And even Ruben's attorney was part of a real gruesome case with a young lady named Destiny Myers. I also remember some other cases with Robert. They're not important, so we won't get into that. Let's get back to what happened today in the hearing. Same arrangement as last time. Paul was sitting with Bob Sanger and Sarah Sanger, and the prosecution was there. However, today there was only 2 people in the galley. I did not see Susan. At least she wasn't in camera view. Paul was dressed similarly in his dark suit jacket, white shirt and tie. It very well could be the same suit that he wears each time. I couldn't say for sure. The defense's next main objective is change of venue. Paul and Ruben's attorneys don't believe they can get a fair trial here in San Luis Obispo County. And I'm sad to say, in my opinion, I'm sad to say that the change of venue is likely. That's just my opinion. Due to the community sentiment and how well known the case is here, and even though it's been 25 years, the community we've not forgotten Kristin. We're still all disturbed and beyond ready for justice for her. We all know her story. Also, we're a university community here, and knowing she disappeared from Cal Poly also adds to the sense of justice. It's way overdue. Cal Poly is very connected to the community in endless ways. I have mixed feelings regarding the change of venue. My first reaction was no, because I want to attend some of the trial in person. And if it's not moved from SLO County, on the other hand, I'm sure I like to say when, not if, when they're convicted, they're going to try to appeal it. So not changing the venue might give more credence to an appellate court. So we don't want to increase any chances for a retrial. That's the last thing anyone needs, especially Kristin's loved ones and even the community. So as much as I hate the fact that it might be tried somewhere else, it might be best. Just remind you, these are my opinions and my gut feelings and expectations. Everybody's got an opinion. So they went on to set a change of venue hearing for March 30th in the same courtroom, same time. And if they do change the venue, maybe I can still attend via Zoom or something. I'm extremely curious, and you know my curiosity level is off the charts. So I'm wondering where in California they would be able to conduct the trial. I have a good guess at the places I highly doubt they'll be moving the trial to. I don't think it will go to another college community. I don't think it will happen in Napa, especially with the connections with her father being a principal at the time, and even Kristin shortly attended high school there in Napa. Excuse me. Yeah, I was a young mom in Napa when she went missing, and I remember seeing her flyers everywhere. I was in my early 20s, and it's just seared in my memory. And once I moved here, I even got more interested in tracking the trial, following it, finding out as much as I could about it. Just shy of an obsession, I would say. I care deeply about Kristin's case, her family, her getting justice, and most importantly, locating her. She still hasn't been found. In my opinion, the trial won't be in the Central Valley either. Stockton is her hometown, so the case is well known there, of course. I don't think it's going to be down in San Pedro area near San Diego, which is Southern California, because Paul has cases there that have been publicized, and there's still additional investigations going on in that area regarding sexual assaults, etc. There's an episode coming up to cover that too. I just need to put it together. Some of his disgusting behavior down in Southern California where he moved after all this happened. I know in Your Own Backyard podcast, there's good details and firsthand victim accounts regarding his chilling perverted behavior. And I highly recommend the podcast if you haven't listened. Even law enforcement admits that the podcast brought new information and helped move the case along. Maybe the trial will be way up north. We're basically in the middle of the state on the central coast of California. It's basically the same distance to drive to San Francisco from here as it is to drive to LA from here. And breaking down the least likely trial locations, it really is a glaring reminder of how far and wide Kristin's reach is. She's touched so many. We're all starved for justice in this case. Once the judge set the March 30th, 2022 change of venue hearing, they calendared that, and the prosecution also had a request. They wanted to put a status conference on the calendar to touch base prior to the March 30th hearing. That was set for Wednesday, March 16th, 8:30 a.m. Once again, Department 5. It appears as if Wednesdays are the usual day for the hearings. So far, Ruben's attorneys and Ruben himself have been attending via Zoom. When they were setting the March 16th status hearing, Sanger wanted insight from the prosecution as far as what might be discussed that day to help him decide if he would appear in person or via Zoom. The prosecution said there was nothing in particular, but things seemed to come up, and that way, those items would be out of the way prior to the March 30th hearing. And in that case, they all agreed to Zoom, and if need be, they can add an in-person hearing after the fact. So I'll be attending that March 16th hearing, hopefully via Zoom. I'll give you all an update then. I'm also working on a timeline episode that was instigated by something else I was watching. So that's all I have for now, guys. That's today's update. I look forward to my other episodes. Also watch the episodes I've already posted. I'm working hard to bring you as much information regarding this case as possible, so you know what's going on when it does go to trial. All right. Take care, guys. Justice for Kristin.
If I can't keep my head held high enough, I'll just be love and watch the smiles come.
Thanks for watching.
Bring my spirits up.
Don't forget to stop and smell the flowers.
There's some shit I like to fix, but I still know that I'm blessed.